Time moves ever forward. Doubt, fear, uncertainty try to dictate our actions and direct our path. The question remains, will we chart our path or let the winds of time carry us without purpose? What we do today prepares us for tomorrow. The steps we take dictates our direction, refines our purpose, gives us meaning. Time moves ever forward. Our effort in planning today create the results we desire tomorrow. Today is when we decide what will we do with our time. Will we create a plan or drift in the wind without cause? Will we venture into the unknown with commitment and cause? Will we learn from those who have gone before and apply all that they have taught? Time moves ever forward.
As you begin your journey to firearm proficiency, it sets you down a path where you're going to come up with a lot of questions. You're going to have a lot of unknowns. There's fears, there's uncertainty, and there's just stuff that you don't know as you just get started on your journey of learning how to shoot better and be better prepared to protect yourself. Recently, we did a video on my everyday carry, or my EDC, and it was just talking about my Glock 19. It's just a pistol that I've carried with me for many years. It's just pretty much a stock Glock 19, nothing fancy. And I went over how I incorporate that pistol and some of the other stuff that's in my pockets and around and on me in my everyday carry. And through that video, it was seen by a ton of people, and a lot of you had some recurring questions. One of those questions was, what do you bring to the range? And we've had that question asked of us on our Instagram page, and I've seen that over on TikTok as well, because people are genuinely curious. What do we do to plan for our range days, and what kind of stuff do we bring so that we get the most out of our range day? Now, I'm going to preface all of this with saying we have a series that's coming out. We've been working on it behind the scenes. So this video is dropping before that series, but that series really goes into depth with all of those questions, and it's going to give you guys information on how to form a plan and a battle strategy so that you're getting the most out of your range day. So today, all I'm literally gonna do is show you what am I bringing to the range. So on my range days, there's a couple things that I do to make sure that I'm training efficiently. I'm gonna start over here first with my Verdicts range bag. I have fallen in love with this bag, and I've used it now for at least a year. And ever since incorporating this into my daily range routine, it has been a lifesaver. So one of the things that you're going to notice in the top compartment here is I have a ton of magazines. So that's just a pro tip that I would give to you guys. And again, stay tuned for our future episodes on this topic. But a pro tip is to show up on the range with your mags loaded. So this bag, I pack full of magazines depending on the guns that I'm bringing with for the day. I've got a cool little folder here from Verdicts that houses my Glock 19 magazines, which are all fully loaded. And then if you check out on the front here, inside of this bag, I will have loose ammunition. I know it's like gold right now. I know it hurts to shoot it, but we still have to be training and preparing. But I keep all my loose ammunition here. And this bag allows me to keep all of my bullets in one place so they're not flying around in my Jeep and all of that other nonsense. So organization is key as we're learning and shooting. And this bag really truly does help me out with that. And you definitely don't need a bag like this. I survived for many years shooting on the range without something like this, but it does seriously come in handy. The next thing that I usually have with me in this bag is a couple paper drills that I'm planning on shooting. So these are off of our website. We've got a couple of them on our site. Just go to tatargets.com. You'll see where there's a paper target section. They are free for you guys to download. You can do what you want with them. The other thing that I will bring with me to the range is, whether it's a video shoot or a range training where I'm trying to learn something or refine some of my skills, I have an outline of what I'm trying to accomplish. So I'll always have that with me. Ironically, the outline I have here is the video that we're shooting right now, which is kind of funny, but everything starts with a plan. Again, I'm super excited to be bringing you guys the series that we're working on because it's going to dive into all of that. So at this point, I know I have my ammunition. I know I have a game plan for the range. What other gear am I going to bring with me? Well, obviously, I need some sort of a staple device to hang up my paper targets. I have a range full of our steel, so I'm super blessed to be out here, what we call the wasteland. So I don't have to bring steel targets with me. I often will bring a mini ADAP or one of our mini vital zones, or if I'm going to somebody else's range, at the very least, I'll bring one of our 20-inch round bases. Those you can just drop furring strips in. I hang up our USPSA cardboard targets, which are also available on our website. And then I can really do a lot of work without taking up a ton of space in my Jeep. If I am shooting our steel targets, I will have some of our spray paint, which again is on our website. That way I can touch up my target systems, and steel targets are awesome because you have the audible feedback. It's gonna help program your muscle memory with successful hits, but it's also important to be touching up those targets so that you can see where you're hitting. So you're not just getting audio, you're getting visual feedback as well. And then I have a plan and my drills and paper targets and all of that other stuff, some sort of a shot timer. This is one of the best investments that you're gonna make as a shooter. They can offer some scarring depending on how you're using them. Just don't rely on them for everything, but as you're growing and progressing through basic skills, I love shot timers. This one here is Pocket Pro, but I tend to prefer the packed timer. That's one of my favorites. I lost mine, so I've been using this one lately, but no matter what you're using, a shot timer is going to definitely help you. Quality ear pro like these Peltors are amazing. My buddy over at Flatline Fiberco set me up with a strap that's padded over the top. It's gonna make it a little bit more comfortable. Some folks will swap out to better little, gel ear muffs or something like that. But all in all, quality ear protection, very, very important because guns are extremely loud and you can damage your hearing even with ear pro if it's not good quality stuff. So then we're kind of out of the planning and organization and getting into some of the gear. Some of the gear that I bring with me obviously is a sidearm, and I already showed you guys. Today we were shooting a bunch with my Glock 19. So if I'm doing a bunch of fundamentals with the Glock 19, I'll have this. This is my sidecar holster for inside the waistband or conceal carry. Sometimes I'll have what people will call a battle belt, which will have some sort of an outside the waistband holster. I think this should be the correct holster here. But as you can see, same gun, fits into the same holster there, but that gives me the ability to train with outside the waistband then. Just two options, and again, sometimes I'm strictly training with IWB, some days I am strictly training with my outside the waistband. Sometimes I'm doing both. It all just depends on what I'm doing. So now that we're past the pistol and we've determined, okay, I'm gonna be training with this today, now I kind of ask the question, am I doing any long gun training? And if I am, I have a backpack for pretty much every single one of my guns. You guys have seen on our Instagram feed, my Geisley, I call it my Geisley 10.3 inch. It's really a Geisley upper and a bunch of other parts, but I will have some sort of a rifle or AR-15 pistol if I'm training that. It all depends on the day. It depends on what I'm doing, but I like to have something to carry the bag. And the reason why is because I'm sometimes walking between parking lots or public places, and I just don't really want to be out here, running around with a rifle on me back and forth between the shop and my Jeep. I just don't really want to raise any eyebrows. So then aside from that, then if I'm doing any kind of loadout training or using more of my kit, maybe I'm running an OWB holster setup, I'll use a chest rig or one of my plate carriers. Today we were running with the T-Rex Arms Ready Rig. So this is an awesome setup. I love using it, super low profile. So depending on the drills and what I'm trying to do, I'll use equipment like this because I want to be a citizen that has all of the tools at my disposal that I possibly can. So again, not required stuff like this. Honestly, as you're starting out, a good pistol, quality holster, shot timer, ear pro is gonna be your best friend, and then some paper targets. You can get a lot done with a very little bit. And then one of the other things that I bring with me is my laptop and my laptop bag. Now, some of you guys may not need something like this on the range, but this does allow me the ability to keep a bunch of this paperwork and my notebook secure, safe, and organized. So inside the bag, I've got a couple things, and really only one or two of them are very important for me on the range. And if you get nothing else out of this video, buy a notebook, just like this. And the reason why is if you create habits of writing down game plans, you're not only gonna lock in your memory what you've done, but you are actually going to get more out of your training. I have notebooks after notebook after notebook after notebook filled like this. And some of that is my business planning, some of that is range training. But the coolest part about all of that is that I can look back on the past and what I've done and track my progress. And again, this bag, it's from Nutsack. It's a funny name for a company, but these dudes make some awesome bags. So definitely something that I'm very happy to have integrated into my everyday carry and my range training. Inside of here is my MacBook Pro. I use that for everything from business communication to email. Sometimes I'll be doing stuff out here with content like we're doing now, and we'll dump footage onto the laptop, so that's important to me as well. A couple other tidbits is I always have some sort of a multi-tool with me. That's very important. I have matches and things like that. Never know when you need to burn some of our trash out here in the range. It's pretty remote here. We don't have trash cans or anything like that. So if we have cardboard or paper, rather than letting it just get wet and fly around in the wind, we just tend to burn it here. And then I always have some sort of a folder that I keep those paper targets and all of that stuff that I described to you guys at the beginning. So at the end of the day, I bring a ton of stuff to the range. And I know this is probably overwhelming to some people, but there's a very specific reason for all of it. And just like I said about the notebook, a good takeaway, one of the last pieces of information I want to give you guys that I cannot say this enough is to invest in some quality medical gear. One of the other things that I always have with me is at least one medical kit with tourniquets, chest seals, quick clot, everything that you might need in the event of an accident, especially when you're on public ranges, places where you're shooting with people that you don't know if you can trust them, you've never been around them. Typically, my main loadout is going to actually be in whatever bag I'm bringing with me that day. So guys, these are just a couple of the fundamentals and some of the stuff that I would recommend you bring to the range. Am I saying that this is gospel? No, it all depends what you're trying to do. If you are trying to do what I am, be really well-rounded, have modern arms, be sort of a modern Minuteman, someone who people can rely on, that you can be an asset to your community, maybe this resonates with you. If you're just a concealed carrier, again, showing up at the range with a quality pistol, quality holster, shot timer, ear pro, and some paper targets is going to do you wonders. Guys, if this helped you out, please leave us a comment below. That helps us more than you know because it gives us a direction for the content. It helps us know what you guys are curious about and what you're questioning. And definitely take a second to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Guys, we appreciate you. See you in the next one.